Hey everybody, Tiffany Solorio here for Finnabair's creative team. I am so excited to be sharing my first project with you guys. I absolutely love Finnabair's products and have been using them for quite some time. So I am so honored to be part of the team. So I am going to have all of the supplies listed down below. So if I miss something, be sure to check the description box for all of the details on all of the supplies that I am using. I'm starting off unwrapping this ATC box, and I'm going to be altering it today. I thought it was really cute. And I wanted it to look really cool for all of my ATCs. So the first step I am doing is using some clear crackle paste and using Finnabair's silicone spatula to spread it around. This one, I should have opened a new one. This clear crackle paste is probably a few years old and it didn't, I mean, there's like little cracks, but I put it on pretty thick, hoping to get bigger cracks. But I think because it's so old, nothing lasts forever, but I probably just should have used a newer one. But I did get a cool effect in the end. So I like to use the spatula so that I can get a variation between thin areas and thicker areas, because with the crackle paste, you can get thicker and larger cracks if you put the crackle paste on thicker, and thinner cracks if you layer it on thinner. So that's what I am doing here, and with the spatula it's really easy to do that. All right, so that dried completely and I let it dry on its own, and it's really important to do that so that you get the best cracks that the medium will give you. And I am taking a stencil, which is, I have it right here because I always forget the name. It is, of course, it's covered up, Tapestry. And I'm using some paper texture paste, which is probably one of my favorite mediums to use. And I am again using Finnabair spatula, the silicone spatula, to spread it around. The paper paste dries pretty quickly and it holds lots of liquid, because what I like to do is when I add a little bit of color, I like to add a lot of water, so that it kind of moves around and spreads around wherever it wants to organically, and it holds up really well. So I am going to add that all around the box. I don't add the design to like the inside of the box or anything. I do add a little bit of just straight paper paste with the spatula, no stencil, to different areas like the middle of the box, if that makes sense. So after that dries, and again, it dries pretty quickly, I did speed it up a little bit with my heat tool. Just be, careful when doing that because it could just bubble up. And although that's a really cool effect, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, so I am now going to layer some metal embellishments together. And I absolutely love these ones. I kept it pretty simple. I think sometimes seeing a simple project that turns out amazing, the colors and just the simplicity of it all, I think is important just as much as seeing really intricate, detailed, projects as well. So I am going to add all of that together with some heavy body gel. I think the heavy body gel is perfect to adhere metal to metal. And I wrapped some wire around some of the embellishments. And you're going to see me kind of put that down, and I just smush it down. It's pretty thin wire, and so it moves and you can manipulate it really well. I'm going to add a little bit of the uh, heavy body gel onto this little tiny mechanical heart, and I'm going to shove it in that wire so that the wire sits on top of it. And it takes me just a second. I should have probably thought about that before I put the wire on, but I wanted the look of that little small heart in the center there. I am now cleaning up the edges of where I got a lot of excess gel that I don't want, and I'm just using a little paintbrush to do that. And you really need to let this dry completely, because when you add gesso or anything on top of it, your elements and everything can kind of come up, and you don't want that. You want it to all stay together. So I let it dry for a couple hours, and I'm coming back now, and I'm going to paint the whole thing with black gesso. To be honest, I don't think I've ever done a rusty project on black gesso. I normally always do white. So I wanted to kind of challenge myself and see how it would turn out, and I absolutely love it. I am going to add a little bit of water so that it kind of spreads out a little bit because of the texture paste and the intricate design. It needed a little bit of help to kind of get in all of those grooves and all of that, the design from the stencil. And instead of just painting on, I am kind of pouncing it on as well. That way, again, it can kind of get in all of those grooves and stuff. And at this point, my cat Callie was walking around my table. She could see her little tail there. And I don't know what had happened, but at this point, I guess my camera died or something. I know that my camera, after 25 minutes, it just automatically shuts off. So at this point, because I was paying more attention to my cat going around my table, I didn't pay attention to my camera, and it wasn't recording. So I had just added a couple more coats of the black gesso to the box. And now I'm taking the rest paste, and I am using the brown rest paste first. And I have one designated brush for my rest paste. This way I have one brush just for rest paste, because when all of those granules of the sand or whatever is mixed in to the paste, it gets in all of those bristles, and then it kind of spreads out the paintbrush, so you can't really use it for any intricate painting. Not that I do any or anything like that, but just so that I have one designated for the rest paste. And I do the same thing with my Art Alchemy wax. I have one designated paintbrush for that as well. It just makes it easier so that I'm not gunking up a bunch of different paintbrushes when I don't need to. So I am going to add the brown rust paste all over the box, not being too heavy-handed, but also not being too light-handed, kind of in between. I wanted a really dark undertone, but I also wanted a lot of that black to show up as well. And then I'm going to go in with the red rust paste, and this is just going to highlight a little bit more of those areas. And I don't have a lot on my brush, and I am just barely sweeping over that texture and all of that design from that stencil, and same with the all of the metal pieces. And it just kind of highlights all of the cool texture on this project. And it's kind of the same concept with the Art Alchemy wax, except this is rust paste, which is amazing because I love the matte finish, and it just looks amazing. I love the texture that it has, and yeah, so I am just kind of going along very lightly, brushing on that red rust paste. And then I will go in with the yellow rust paste in the end, just to highlight those areas just a little bit more. And I want to make sure that I get all of the sides as well. And after the top dries, or the front of the box dries, I will do the back. I don't do it on camera, but I do that off camera. I don't want to forget that as well. So you definitely don't want to forget the sides of a canvas or any other project that you might be working on. All right, so here is the yellow rust paste. Just going to take it very, very lightly, brush over those areas that I want a little bit more highlighted, like some of that texture paste that I used with the stencil, and then all of that really cool designs on the metal pieces like the wings. And then I want to highlight the wire that I wrapped around some of those embellishments as well. And then I'll go around a little bit on the edges, and then I'm going to go back in after it's pretty dry, just to highlight a little bit more of some of those areas. And I love how this turns out. It just looks amazing. I have seen a lot of people use black gesso with the rest paste, and I just never have done it before. I'm glad that I did, and I definitely will be making more projects like this, because I absolutely love the rest paste. And yeah, so I'm just going to finish up highlighting some of those areas. I don't know if you guys can hear the dogs. They are pretty far away, but I have my window open. It is so nice outside. We just got done with summer, so I'm definitely taking advantage of keeping my window open. I had added a little bit more of the brown rust paste, and then I didn't like how it looked, so I went back over and did the same steps. So I added a little bit of red rust paste, and now I'm going back in with some of the yellow rust paste just to finish it off. And you can see here, that is basically it. It seems like a pretty simple project, but you know, when you're creating, sometimes a more simple project is just what you need to create, and sometimes you don't have a lot of time, and this definitely did not take too much time. The most time was waiting for the crackle paste to dry, but to be honest, you could probably skip that step because you add the paste with the stencil and all of that stuff. So I'm going to show you guys up close, and then I will show you guys a few photos. And that is going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, share it on social media, and don't forget to leave a comment down below. And again, the supplies are listed down below. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.